The Oklahoma City Thunder may be one of the youngest and weakest teams in the NBA heading into the 2021-22 season. That doesn't mean that there isn't things to look forward to about this OKC group for this upcoming season, and there isn't reasons to watch this team for the 2021-22 season. Ultimately, I do have OKC as one of the worst teams in the league this year, and I'm sure OKC management wants them to be, because it was pretty darn apparent last year that they were tanking because they wanted a better pick, and I wouldn't doubt that they're going to do something similar this year, as much as I would like them to just play their guys, because the guys they're resting are SGA and Dort, and they are young guys themselves that need to play to continue to improve and develop. And no doubt about it, they are the best players on their team, and so that's why they weren't playing, because that's the reasons they were getting wins, because they were actually fairly competitive before they started putting those guys down and playing with the rest of the team. But nonetheless, the rest of the league has improved, and so I don't think OKC, even with more pieces added this year and another offseason of development, that this group is going to be competitive enough to really push them above the threshold of a bottom three team in the Western Conference. SGA is going to be an absolute brilliant sight to watch again. I think SGA is near his first All-Star appearance, minus the fact that OKC having as bad of a record as they will is going to hamper him from doing so, but he is an All-Star level talent. His impact on both ends is very special, and now that Josh Giddey is on the team and he doesn't always have to be the primary playmaker, expect his offensive game to expand a bit more, being able to catch and shoot, get the ball off of pin downs, get the ball in better scenarios where someone else can be the primary ball handler on certain possessions. Expect Dort's game to continue to improve, as he's going to be a joy to watch this upcoming season. Someone who could be a dark horse most improved player candidate as he just continues to put in work and expand his offensive game. Don't necessarily expect Dort's going to be some all-star caliber player. At least that's not my expectations for him. But don't be surprised if he becomes just more than a 3-and-D guy who only does catch and shoot threes. He could definitely look to expand his offensive game more and continue to improve his development. As someone who has improved as much as he has throughout his first couple of years in the NBA and works as hard as anyone does who gets into the league who's undrafted, full credit to Dort, and don't be surprised to see more from him this upcoming season. There's also a host of other young guards off of the bench for this OKC team. You have the likes of Theo Maledon, Trey Mann, Ty Jerome, Aaron Wiggins. There are a lot of young pieces on this group that'll get minutes behind that group of SGA and Dort, even though those are the main men, there's no doubt about it. But Trey Mann was just taken in the first round this year. Theo Maledon shown some moments last year. He can have some upside. Nonetheless, there is a lot at the guard spot to look forward to for OKC this upcoming season. Josh Giddey was their highest pick in this past draft. He has the upside to be a very special player as far as I'm concerned. At his size, I believe it's around 6'7", 6'8". Correct me if I'm wrong. With his playmaking ability, he could be an extremely special player for this group. His scoring, his ability to shoot from the perimeter still needs some work, but his ability to playmake at his size is going to be extremely special and extremely impactful for this group, and could be a very exciting player for this team this year, as well as moving forward. Darius Bazley also showed a lot of upside last year and will continue to be an intriguing piece for this team at the power forward spot, and Isaiah Roby will fill out the starting lineup playing at the 5. Ultimately, Poku looks to be the man who's going to be leading the second unit. They want him to have a big role with significant minutes leading a unit, and that I'm all down for, because I think watching Poku have the ball in his hands that much is going to be very exciting, very intriguing. He is just a special talent. He is unique. He is one of a kind. There's no doubt about it. And hopefully he can have a good season. He's going to be very exciting to watch for the upcoming season. And then you also have pieces like Jeremiah Robinson-Earl, who were just added to the team. You still have Derek Favors, who is kind of one of the only veterans on this team. Mike Muscala still around as well. So there's definitely a few pieces here that have a bit of veteran presence, which is important, because you can't just have a full U23 locker room and expect everything to go smooth. You do need a couple of vets on the team that at least have been around the NBA a bit and can lead the way. But there's no doubt about it, this OKC team has a lot of upside, has a lot of excitement, And sure, later on in the year, they might sit down a few players, they might rest a bit, and that ultimately will make them a little bit less competitive and a little bit less fun to watch. But early on in the year, when everyone is playing, when they are competing, this team is going to be better than most expect. Now, I'm not saying they're pushing for the playoffs, because ultimately I just think the West and the East is too deep this year for a team like OKC to be pushing for a playoff spot. And you're thinking about the likes of the Pelicans or the Kings that might not even touch the play-in. But that's not to say that OKC can't be competitive night in, night out, and don't have players worth watching. SGA is always a joy to watch. Dort, I believe, will continue to improve. Poku is just an absolute unique basketball player that is much watched as he continues to improve. Josh Giddey has a lot of upside. Darius Bazley has a lot of upside. This team is going to be very exciting. I have them sitting between 13th and 15th. Amongst them, the Spurs and the Rockets at the bottom of the West. Ultimately, I do think they're going to slip at the end of the season because I think they're going to want a higher pick. But don't be surprised if they are decently competitive throughout the first 40 to 50 games of the NBA season. Do not be surprised. This is a solid roster that's going to work hard and has upside, has talent. They are young, they are inexperienced, but they have quality players on this roster, and they have a bright future. They will be at the bottom of the Western Conference this year. They have a bright future and a team that can be competitive when they want to be for this season. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below about this OKC group heading into the 2021-22 season. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And if you want to hear my other season previews that I have done up to this point, make sure to click the box on the right hand side of the screen. That being said, be sure to have a great rest of your day, and I'll just see you guys in the next one. Peace.